I'm going to use the spinner again to do my kale. So kale is something that you will definitely see a lot of in your CSA baskets in the spring and in the summer and in the fall. So learn to love your kale. A few different ways that you can deal with this, especially when you start to get quite a lot of greens. I like to sort of begin the prep because then they'll just take up less room in the refrigerator, right? So first, of course, you'll want to wash it. And the best way to do this is to remove the stem from the leaf. So you can really just tear it just like that, okay? Another way that you can do it is to sort of do an unzipping method where you're holding the end of the stem on one end and then you tear the leaf away from the other, okay? The stems are edible. They just are a little bit tougher. They take a little bit longer to cook than the leaves. Most people will separate the leaves from the stems, but you're not gonna, hurt yourself or anything if you do decide to eat them. So once I've got these pretty well separated, just like that, I'll go on and let these soak a little. Again, lifting the leaves out of the water instead of pouring the dirty water over them. Give them a little spin. Then I have nice washed kale leaves that I can work with. If I wanted to go on and cook these or saute these, I could. If I wanted to go on and cut them up for a raw salad, then I could. And what I'll do here is I'll prep them as if I were doing it for a raw salad. And you can see that I'm taking the broken up leaves out of the spinner and just sort of stacking them on top of each other. And what I've got here on my cutting board, once I have that stack, kind of made a roll like a burrito. And I'm just gonna cut along that burrito. And you can see here you're kind of left with kale ribbons, which is a nice texture to eat if you're doing a kale salad. It's even going to be nice for a stir fry with pasta or to put in something like tacos or something like that. So, and look how much less room it takes up, and it's already prepped. So again, you just want to making this healthy choice, making your veggie choice, make it easy, okay? And think about what things that you can do in order to make it easy for your kitchen. Some other things you can do with your kale, of course, once it's washed like this, go on and wrap it up in a paper towel or again, a tea towel, just like you did with your lettuce, all right? That'll help regulate the moisture. Then you can go on and put that in a plastic bag as well. All right, so you can also store your greens in a salad spinner if you have the room in your refrigerator for that. So a few things I've got left here. I've got some more greens. This is Swiss chard. Sometimes this is new for people who are new to the CSA. It's a really beautiful green that grows well in Kentucky in the spring, summer, and fall. This is a rainbow variety, so you'll get this really beautiful colors here on the stems as well. You might also see Swiss chard with just a white stem. It's just as delicious, it's just not as brightly colored, and you'll see both in central Kentucky. The stems and the leaves are edible, but again, just like the kale, the stems take a little bit longer to cook than the leaves. So you'll usually separate them from the leaves when you're preparing. What I like to do best with Swiss chard is to saute it. So what I'll generally do when I'm getting ready to cook it is go on and just pull the leaves off, just like I did before, and dice up this stem. Probably usually check out the end, make sure it doesn't look too dry. This one looks pretty good. And go on and chop it up just like that. And I'll saute it with onion or garlic in olive oil for about 5 or 10 minutes before I add the leaves. It's got about the same texture as a raw onion, so it's going to cook in about the same amount of time. Once it gets pretty soft, then I can go on and add my leaves. And I can just tear the leaves, or I can do that ribbon technique like I did earlier, where you just roll and slice across. And you've got those ribbons. Again, it's not going to take up quite as much room in your fridge once you go through the whole bunch like that, and it's ready to eat. If you're not ready to deal with your chard yet, do the same thing like you did with the other bunches of leaves, right? Go on and wrap it up in a tea towel or paper towel. And you can either put it in their fridge just like this. Sometimes it's hard to find a bag this big, or you can stick it in a plastic bag.